Hey, so in the last video I made, I talked about how I almost died not even a month after turning 40. So I kind of I guess I didn't rush through the story, but I wasn't completely detailed. So let's talk about it. I was, it was Saturday before Memorial Day. I was getting ready to go back to Louisiana the next morning. I was going to leave. No, yeah, it was Saturday because I was going to leave Sunday to go to Louisiana. I was eating cherries. I love cherries. I saw cherries were in season. I bought a bag of cherries. Cherries typically make me sleepy. So I was snacking on them early in the day, and I did have dinner. But then I was devouring them towards the end of the day. So it's like 8 o'clock. I've about finished the bag. No, it's a little later than 8 o'clock. It may be 8:30. I am about finished with the bag of cherries. Cherries are gone. I stand up and I notice I am super itchy everywhere. Look down, my arms are red, my legs are red. I go in the bathroom. My face is swollen. I say, oh my God, I need some Benadryl. Immediately take 2 Benadryl. Notice, oh, I can't swallow the Benadryl. I literally feel them stuck in my throat. So now I'm calling 911 because I thought, oh, it's just itchy. I can take the Benadryl. I can drive myself to the hospital. No, now I can't swallow. So I'm texting my nurse manager and I'm like, hey, FYI, I'm calling 911 for anaphylaxis as I'm calling 911. So I call 911. I notice my voice has changed. I notice my tongue is now thick. That's the only way I can describe it. It's thick and it's hard to speak. They're sending EMS. EMTs walk through the door and they're doing their talk thing. And I was like, hey, okay. So EMTs walk in. They're doing their small talk thing, trying to keep the situation calm. I get what they're doing. I mean, I have to call EMTs regularly to the school. That's what we do. So they're doing their thing, and I'm like, hey, I know what you're doing, but I need the epi. And then they're like, we're getting it. And then next thing I know, everything goes black. Like, I can hear them, but I can't see anything. Everything is black. Apparently, I passed out. Didn't even realize that. Next thing I remember is being transferred to the stretcher to be sent to the hospital. And the paramedic tells me your blood pressure dropped down to 60s over 40s. And although I couldn't talk still, I knew that mean like, oh, you are about to be gone. You was about to check into heaven. So I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying. So I get to the hospital and I'm talking to the doctor. I'm still having difficulty speaking, but I'm talking to the doctor. I'm talking to the nurse, and they're like, have you ever had cherries before? I'm like, I eat them every year. And they were like, well, how do you know it was cherries? I'm like, because I overindulged in them. I had an entire bag of cherries in less than 24 hours. And it doesn't make sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me in a way. I I think your body just naturally has a tolerance for anything you ingest. And in this case, it could be also, this is a speculation, that maybe a pit was cracked and the poison that comes from cherry pits, I can't remember if it's cyanide or arsenic, whatever one is in the cherry pit, maybe it got into the cherries. I don't know. This is all speculation. All I know is I have never had a reaction to cherries before, and I almost died from cherries. And I don't know. My mind still can't wrap my mind around that part. Like, how does something you indulge in every year almost kill you? This has definitely been the strangest experience of my existence in my 40 years. I've always been on the other side of the hospital bed. I've hardly ever been a patient for an illness. I'm usually helping with the treatment plan. So it's wild to be a patient, but I had some amazing nurses, bruh. I'm not even gonna hold you. They were amazing. I built friendships from this. These nurses are now my friends. So I'm really excited about that. And some things closed out, but here's to chapter 40. I pray that I don't have another near death experience. I will say I have always had a fear of death. And this experience, if death was what I felt when everything went black, then I'm okay. It wasn't a scary thing. I had no fear in those moments of like not being conscious. I know at some point I didn't hear anything. Like when everything went black, I could hear them, but then at a certain point, like I didn't hear anything. I was kind of just like, okay, everything's dark. Am I getting ready for like the whole crossover thing? I was kind of like, everything's black. I'm looking around, but I don't know if I was physically moving. Apparently not, because I was passed out. So, yeah, I think it did help with that fear. And part of my journey through chapter 40 has been, is going to be like conquering fears. Now, this was not a fear I was planning on conquering, but it is good to kind of have an idea. I don't want to experience that again, but I don't fear death anymore. It was very calm. It wasn't scary. I didn't see any ancestors. I didn't see any angels. I didn't see anything. It was kind of like limbo, I guess. I was just in the space between, but it was peaceful. It was calm. So now that I'm done yapping about my experience of almost dying at the age of 40, barely 40, I want to hear about any experience you may have had where you almost died, or if you had like an NDE experience. I love those stories. I will literally watch near death experience stories all day. So I would love for you to either stitch the video or share it in the comments. Bye.